In 1990, through the generosity of Kay Logan, the Logan Series was founded at Penn State Behrend. Mrs. Logan, a gifted flautist, wanted to bring chamber music to the students at Behrend and to the larger Erie community. Now in its 27th year, the Logan Series brings 6 concerts a year to Erie, Pennsylvania. Mrs. Logan loved music in all varieties and demanded that the series brought both the traditional and the avant-garde to Erie. Next year is the 28th year for the Logan Series. Though Kay Logan died in 2016, we are still going strong thanks to the generous support of the Kay Logan Foundation. Why did Mrs. Logan choose Behrend? We didn't have a music school or even a music major. Many of our students had never been to a concert that wasn't rock and had no idea what chamber music was. But she wanted to invest in our students, our college, and the Erie community. She wanted to make possible the blossoming of the human spirit that music can bring. She wanted to grow people who would be lifelong supporters of the arts. So, Music at Noon was born. 6 free concerts a year, bringing world-renowned chamber groups to Behrend College. The audience is varied: college students, retirees, bust-in school children, chamber music aficionados, homeschoolers, toddlers with parents, workers on their lunch hour. All mingle, brought together by the lure, by the power of music. Music at Noon, at Behrend, is a wonderful gift to the college and the community. Any college would be honored to have it and elevated by it. But what makes the Logan Series special is what happens after Music at Noon. Because the next day, the artists pack up their instruments and travel 3 miles to Deal Elementary School. From a college that is part of one of the greatest universities in the world to an elementary school in a financially challenged city. But at least 6 days a year, the outside world, the world of art and culture, the world of the uplifting, life-changing power of music invades the school. It's Logan Series time.
I can think of a child that the Logan Series has impacted. In particular, yesterday, when we came to Penn State Behrend, while we were watching, one of my students was really getting into the music. He was like feeling it, and his whole body's moving to every sound that one of the instruments was making. It's a new instrument for me as well. But he came back and wanted to write some science fiction, and he was telling me yesterday that like at this part, like when an alien would come in and his arms would be going like this, that was that sound that machine was making when that man would pull his hand up in the air. So for him in particular, he drew yesterday. He had all these drawings that would go with a story that this music would go with, and I thought that was amazing. There's different, for himself personally, that was really great as a writer, as an illustrator, but also just who knows, even in the future, like as a possible career for this kid. But he was talking about it all day.
I want to see this partnership continue with Deal. I can't always guarantee that I'll be the principal here to retirement. I certainly hope I am. But regardless of that, these students need this. You know, many of our students is in the mid-90th percentile of below the poverty line in this building, with 15% English as a second language in particular. These students need programs like this because it gives them a chance to see things that their families might not have the resource to take them out of this area to see. And it's really sobering to me when I taught music I've taught in a number of schools in this district. I taught at a different building, and I took these kids outside of the city limits to Philadelphia for 3 days and 2 nights. And when I asked how many of them have actually left the city of Erie, about 5 of the 40 raised their hand. Many of these kids never have an opportunity to get out of this area, and it's a sobering reality for me. And when you're able to bring the talent in, it gives them the exposure that many people of a more affluent nature take for granted.
But it is the Deal kids themselves who best document the power of the Logan Series. Hannah Simon, now a senior biology major at Behrend, was a Deal kid from kindergarten through 8th grade. That's 54 concerts she heard, 6 a year for 9 years.
I think without the Logan Series, I don't think I would have had as large of a drive to be a biology major. And I know that sounds weird.
It does sound weird.
But when you're listening to the music, usually you put your own story in your head. And ever since I was little, I have loved bugs. I love bugs. I love dirt. I camp and I love frogs. But listening to the music, I made my own stories in my head. So that's all I could think about was, oh, this little bunny's doing this, or it's a sad time, so the fox lost his mom, something weird like that. But it just, I don't know, it just kept me always thinking about something science-y, which sounds really weird, but
Music is powerful.
music is very powerful. And I feel like whatever they played, you do. No matter what the song is supposed to be about, you still paint your own picture. It was a dark period because it was boring. It was mainly focused on, all your hard academics, such as, science, math, English. That's great, but there was no creative break. And I miss that a lot because it helped me relax. And I feel that music or even just the arts, it makes you creative. It makes you think outside of the box. And when you're subjected to only core classes, it makes you dull. It makes you boring. And I did not like it. I would tell her thank you. She put her money into the Logan Series, and that means a lot to me. Especially as a Deal student, I had the unique experience of watching 54 concerts. That was really great, and it was very inspiring. When I'm older, I probably will end up donating to musical organizations just because it made such a big impact in my life. It's important that others experience that too.
Through the voice of a former Deal kid, Hannah Simon, we can hear the realization of Kay Logan's vision. We are honored to play a role in furthering Kay's vision as we plan the 28th season of the Logan Series and look beyond.